The average Bergen County buyer underestimates their annual insurance costs by thousands of dollars. And in today's market, that can literally kill your mortgage approval or blow up your deal at the closing table.
Hey everybody, how are you? I'm Stacey Esser with the Stacey Esser Group. We are top Northern New Jersey realtors, and today we're diving into something I wish somebody had told me and all of my buyers years and years ago. I've brought two of the most important women on my team to cover this topic because it is so important. So I have Debbie Portnoy here to my left, and Debbie is a spectacular agent in the Pascack Valley area, which is one of the most competitive areas in Bergen County. And I have Allison Berkowitz over here to my right, and Allison is a spectacular agent whom I recruited for multiple reasons, one of which is because not only does she have her license in New York and New Jersey, she actually owns her own insurance company. So she is an expert on all things insurance. Thanks so much for being here, Deb.
Thanks for having us, Stacey. My name's Debbie. I have been an agent and a mom in the Pascack Valley for over 10 years now. And I'll turn it over to Allison.
Hello, Allison. Like Stacey said, I own an insurance agency. I also live in the Pascack Valley region, and I focus on real estate insurance, residential and commercial sales in New Jersey and New York.
All right, so here is what we're gonna cover today. We're gonna talk about what's actually happening with insurance rates in New Jersey right now, because it has changed drastically. We're gonna walk you through every cost you need to budget for your mortgage and beyond, and then we're gonna get into the stuff that nobody talks about, the hidden deal killers. And at the end, we're gonna give you guys the 5 questions that every buyer in Bergen County needs to ask before they make an offer. So stick with us and let's get to it. All right, Allison, let's start at the top. Buyers coming here from out of state, buyers who've been renting for years, they have no idea what's happening with insurance in New Jersey right now. So do me a favor, set the stage for us. What is going on?
It's important that they connect with an insurance agent early on because the rates in New Jersey have definitely shifted, and some carriers have actually even pulled out of the market altogether. FEMA flood maps have changed, as we've all have experienced with the weather shifts. So it's important to know, are you in a flood zone, and what level of flood zone are you in? In addition, it takes longer to get approved for that home insurance policy. So shopping earlier will make sure that you get to the closing table in a timely manner.
Right. And buyers don't factor in time like that, right?
Right.
All right. So I want to underscore what you just said, because I feel like buyers come in and they've gotten their pre-approval and they think they're ready, but they haven't really factored in the insurance piece of this. So that to me makes me feel like they're not really ready. Right, Deb?
Yeah, and one of the really important things for buyers to understand is once you get your monthly mortgage payment, it's not just your monthly payment. Usually lenders are going to add escrow to that, and that's going to include not only your real estate taxes, but prorated home insurance costs as well. So that monthly figure might be larger than they initially realize.
Right. I just wanted to tap on that too, because the mortgage companies are also calculating a home insurance that's really under what it actually should be. So keep that in mind.
Allison, so I get this question from my buyers all the time. They come to me and they say, Debbie, my lender pre-approved me, I'm good to go. At what point does insurance actually need to enter this conversation?
Well, are they too late when they've already started shopping, or what?
Yeah, so we're experiencing that there's a lot of buyers out there who are waiting entirely too late and it's delaying their closing. They need to start speaking with their home insurance agent just around the time that they're going under contract on that house.
So is it ideally before an offer or after an offer?
I would say after the offer is accepted, because obviously the home insurance is going to be customized to that specific home. Otherwise, if you want to just get a general idea of what the insurance policy is going to cost you, it's never too early to start shopping for home insurance.
So do you think that this is a conversation, again, that I feel like the lenders need to be having with their clients because it's part of their budget, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It would be helpful.
It would be helpful, exactly. So this is exactly why we're having this conversation today, because being educated on the data is going to be super important. So I'm going to tell you from behind the scenes that education is the difference between a smooth closing and a nightmare. So let's talk numbers. Let's walk through everything else, Allison. Let's talk about what does it actually cost a Bergen County home buyer for insurance.
So when you're thinking about insurance on your home, there's going to be different levels, right? You're not just focusing on your home insurance, which of course can be customized. So it's a little bit of a broader range as far as price goes. But you're also going to want to consider flood insurance, right? We talked about how FEMA map has changed. So it's quite possible that your home could even be in a 500-year flood zone, which might be required to have flood insurance by your mortgage broker. And lastly, your umbrella policy. I can't tell you how many times I hear people ask me what that is. That's liability coverage. It is imperative that you have one of these if you own property. So with all these policies taken into consideration, you should definitely be budgeting about $2,000 to $5,000 for these policies and upwards of $8,000 if you're going to need that flood insurance.
So do you have I know you're really good at getting people like the best rates for their homeowners policy, but do you find sometimes people are shooting way beyond that $5,000 number?
Yes, that is possible, especially with homes that are a little bit more customized, higher end finishes. So if you're getting marble shipped from Italy, there is a very specific policy for you, and you are going to pay a smidge of a premium when it comes to that.
All right, so I want everybody to hear that because that number can float above $5,000 a year. So if you guys are not talking to your lenders about budgeting that into your costs, you're going to have a problem. All right, Deb, let me ask you this. Are there any areas specifically that you're working in right now that you have specific insurance issues that have been raised?
Definitely. I think one thing that we're seeing all over Bergen County is that the flood maps have changed. We had a buyer looking at a home in a 500-year flood zone. And so one of the things that we did actually before they even put their offer in was we got a quote from Allison to see what the flood insurance would cost them. Not that it was required, but for their own peace of mind, they wanted to make sure that they had flood insurance when they were in a 500-year flood zone. So we got that number. And then something else that we did was the buyer was able to price that into their offer. And to make them more competitive and really stand out with the seller, we let their seller's agent know that we had already gotten the cost for the flood insurance, that the buyer had already priced it into their offer so that this was not going to be a barrier to closing later on in the deal or during the inspection phase. So just something to make them more competitive.
That's like a drop the mic. No, it's amazing because you use the information because I think a lot of sellers understand that even though maybe they've not had any water and they're in a flood zone, it still can be concerning. Okay, we promised you a checklist and here it is. Here are 5 questions every buyer in Bergen County and Pascack Valley need to ask before they make an offer.
Question 1, has this property ever had an underground oil tank? And if so, was it properly decommissioned with documentation? Question 2, can I get an insurance quote before the home inspection? Not after, before.
Question 3, what is the age and condition of the roof? And what does the seller have in writing about it?
Question 4, is this property in a FEMA flood zone and has that designation changed in the last 5 years?
And the 5th one, question 5, what has the seller's insurance history been on this home? Have there been any claims?
It's super important, you guys, because that history affects what you pay and buyers almost never ask. And I think this is a good time to mention to a seller that they need to be careful about what claims they're filing if they're planning on going to market. And this is a bonus for you guys who are watching. You want to explain?
Yeah, so it's important that you have a conversation with your agent before filing a claim because claims can definitely affect you in your qualification of getting another home insurance policy, but it also can affect your new buyer because some carriers will watch the claims that not the buyer has filed on past homes, but what claims have been filed on the home they are purchasing.
And that is super important, you guys. That's definitely something you all need to know if you're planning to put your house on the market. And not only if you actually got paid out on that claim, but if you actually filed it, it's going to come up when that buyer goes to get their home insurance. Debbie and Allison, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you know anybody or if you yourself are looking to buy or sell in Bergen County, Pascack Valley, anywhere in northern New Jersey, and you want a team that thinks about all of this before a problem arises, our contact information is right below this video. And what you can expect when you subscribe to this channel, it is exactly the real education, the real conversations, behind the scenes access to the market. And yes, sneak peeks at properties haven't been listed yet. So hit subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, be happy and be healthy. Bye.